Millionaire's daughter showed a drawing to the bride and made her call off the wedding. Jennifer Miller held the bouquet of white roses with trembling hands as she watched the luxurious banquet hall filling with guests. After 3 years of dating Michael Thompson, one of New York City's most successful businessmen, the day of her dream wedding had finally arrived. Little Emma, Michael's 6-year-old daughter from his first marriage, ran up to her holding a folded paper in her small hands. The girl wore a light pink dress that perfectly matched her brown curls, tied with a fake pearl tiara that Jennifer had specially chosen for her. "Aunt Jenny, Aunt Jenny," called the girl with eyes shining with excitement. "I made a special drawing for you." Jennifer bent down to the child's level, feeling a wave of affection wash over her heart. Since the beginning of her relationship with Michael, she had tried hard to win the love of that little girl, who lived with her mother but spent weekends with her father. Emma had always been affectionate, but had never shown so much enthusiasm for her presence. "How beautiful, sweetheart. Let Auntie see," said Jennifer, reaching out to take the paper. The girl carefully unfolded the drawing, as if it were the most precious thing in the world. Jennifer looked at the paper and felt a chill down her spine. In the crayon drawing there were 3 human figures holding hands, a tall man in the center, a woman with long hair on one side, and another woman with short hair on the other. "This is Daddy," explained Emma, pointing to the male figure. "This is you, Aunt Jenny, and this is Aunt Olivia." Jennifer felt the world spin for a moment. Olivia was the name of Michael's ex-wife. She tried to maintain her composure, but her voice came out a bit higher than normal. "Emma, darling, why did you draw Mommy together with us?" The girl looked at her with a confused expression, as if the question made no sense. "Because you 3 are always together when I go to Daddy's house. Aunt Olivia is there almost every day now." Jennifer's heart began to beat faster. Michael had always told her that he maintained a cordial relationship with his ex-wife only because of their daughter, and that they never met beyond situations necessary for the child. "Emma, are you sure? Mommy stays at Daddy's house?" "Of course," replied the girl naturally. "She even has a toothbrush there in Daddy's bathroom, and yesterday morning she made pancakes for us for breakfast." Jennifer stood up slowly, trying to process what she had just heard. Yesterday, Michael had told her that he would spend the day at home resting before the wedding, and that Emma would be with the nanny because Olivia had traveled for work. "Aunt Jenny, are you okay?" asked Emma, noticing the change in the woman's expression. "I'm fine, sweetheart. Do you have more drawings?" "I do," exclaimed the girl, pulling other papers from the small purse she carried. "Look." The second drawing showed a house with 2 people in bed. Emma had drawn 2 pillows side by side and 2 figures lying down. "This one is from when I woke up in the morning and went to Daddy's room to ask for water. Aunt Olivia was sleeping there too." Jennifer felt her legs weaken. She held onto the nearest chair, trying to keep her breathing under control. Across the hall, Michael was chatting animatedly with some guests, completely unaware of the conversation taking place. "Emma, when did this happen?" "It always happens," replied the girl simply. "After Aunt Olivia came back from her trip. She's there almost every day. She says you're friends, and that it's a surprise for today." At that moment, Jennifer understood the extent of the lie she had been living. For months, perhaps years, Michael had maintained a relationship with his ex-wife while planning the wedding. Emma's innocence was revealing a truth she had never imagined. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. "Aunt Jenny, you're going to like this one," said Emma, showing a third drawing. "It's from our trip to the beach." On the paper there were 4 figures on the sand: Michael, Olivia, Emma, and a 4th person the girl had identified as herself playing alone. "Emma, when did you go to the beach?" "Last week. It was really fun. Daddy said it was our secret, but I wanted to tell you because you're nice too." Jennifer remembered that week perfectly. Michael had told her he needed to travel for business to Miami, and that he would take Emma so she wouldn't be alone with the babysitter. She had even suggested going with them, but he insisted it would be all work and there would be no time for outings. "And did Aunt Olivia go along?" "Yes, she even bought a new bikini for the trip. Daddy said she looked very pretty. Each word from the child was like a stab to Jennifer's heart. She looked again at Michael, who was now watching her from a distance with a smile on his face, completely unaware of what was being revealed. "Emma, can I see if you have more drawings?" The girl rummaged through her little bag and pulled out a few more crumpled papers. "Oh, this one is my favorite," she said, showing a drawing of a woman with a big belly. "Aunt Olivia asked me to draw her like this." Jennifer felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. In the drawing, Olivia appeared with a round belly and a smile on her face. "Emma, why did you draw Mommy like that?" "Because she's expecting a baby," the girl announced joyfully. "It's going to be my little brother or sister. Daddy said it's still a secret, but I can't keep it. I'm so happy." Jennifer had to lean against the wall to keep from falling. Olivia was pregnant, and from what Emma was saying, Michael was the father. All the wedding planning, all the dreams they had built together, it was all just an elaborate lie. "Aunt Jenny, are you crying?" asked Emma, concerned. "No, sweetie, I'm just a little emotional," lied Jennifer, wiping the tears that had begun to stream down her face. "Daddy cried too when Aunt Olivia told him about the baby, but he said it was from happiness." Jennifer took a deep breath, trying to gather her thoughts. She needed to confront Michael, but not there in front of all the guests, and especially not in front of Emma. The child was not at all to blame for what was happening. "Emma, where is Mommy now?" "She's at the hotel getting ready. She said she'd arrive later because she wanted you to have your moment first." So Olivia was coming to the wedding. Jennifer couldn't believe the nerve of the two of them. Michael planned to marry her while maintaining a relationship with his pregnant ex-wife, and on top of that, both were coming to the ceremony. "Aunt Jenny, can I make one more drawing for you?" "Of course, dear." Emma pulled a blank sheet from her bag and began to draw with concentration. While the girl was busy with her new drawing, Jennifer took the opportunity to observe Michael. He was laughing at something his brother, the best man, had said. He seemed completely relaxed and happy, like a man about to marry the woman he loved. Jennifer's mother approached at that moment, radiant in the navy blue dress they had chosen together. "My dear, is everything all right? You look a little pale." "I'm fine, Mom. Just a little nervous." "It's normal, honey. Everyone gets nervous at their own wedding. You look beautiful, and Michael is a lucky man." If Mother knew what Jennifer had just discovered, she certainly wouldn't say that. Mrs. Margaret had worked very hard to help her daughter organize this wedding. She and her husband had used all their savings to contribute to the celebration, since Michael had insisted that he wanted something simple and that they didn't need to spend much. "All done," announced Emma, showing the new drawing. "Now I made an even bigger family." On the paper, the girl had drawn 5 figures: Michael, Jennifer, Olivia, herself, and a small baby in Olivia's arms. "This way, we'll be a big, happy family," said Emma enthusiastically. Jennifer looked at the child and felt a mix of affection and pain. Emma was genuinely happy about the possibility of having a united family without understanding the complexity of the adult situation unfolding. "Emma, who taught you to make these drawings?" "Nobody taught me. I just draw what I see and what I feel. My school teacher said I have a talent for art." "You really do, sweetheart. Your drawings are very expressive." At that moment, Jennifer made a decision. She couldn't go through with this wedding knowing the truth. She needed to confront Michael, but first she wanted to be absolutely sure about what Emma was saying. Children sometimes confuse reality with imagination, and she needed to verify the facts before taking any drastic measures. "Emma, can you do me a favor?" "Of course, Aunt Jenny." "Can you tell me exactly when Mommy started spending more time at Daddy's house?" The girl thought for a moment, counting on her little fingers. "It was after my birthday. Remember that Daddy threw a party for me at his house." Aunt Olivia came to help with the cake, and then never really left. Emma's birthday had been 3 months ago. Jennifer remembered it perfectly because she had helped Michael organize the party. At the time, he said Olivia would only stay a few hours so their daughter wouldn't be sad, but that she would leave right after. Apparently, she hadn't left at all. "And where are you when Mommy is there?" "Oh, I play in my room or watch cartoons in the living room. Sometimes they talk quietly in Daddy's room, but they always call me for lunch or dinner together. The situation was becoming clearer and clearer. Michael and Olivia had been living as a couple for months, while he maintained his relationship with Jennifer and planned the wedding. Emma, do Daddy and Mommy talk about me? Sometimes. Daddy said you are a good person, but that things are complicated. Aunt Olivia said you two will be friends once everything is settled. Jennifer couldn't believe Michael's coldness. He was treating the whole situation as if it were a problem to be solved, not a devastating betrayal against the woman he claimed to love. The officiant approached at that moment, checking her watch. Jennifer, dear, it's time for us to begin. Are you ready? Jennifer looked at Emma, who was watching her with those innocent eyes, then at Michael, who was now walking toward the altar with a confident smile, and finally at all the guests who had come to celebrate what they believed was a joyous occasion. I need a few more minutes, she told the officiant. Of course, dear. Nerves are normal. I'll let them know we'll be delayed a little bit. Emma put her drawings away in her little bag and looked at Jennifer with concern. Aunt Jenny, aren't you happy? I'm thinking, Emma. Sometimes adults need to think before making important decisions. Daddy thinks a lot too. Yesterday he was walking around the house sighing. Aunt Olivia said he was worried about something. Did you hear what they talked about? Just a little bit. Daddy said it was time to sort everything out, and Aunt Olivia said she couldn't wait much longer because her belly was going to start showing. So they were planning to resolve the situation. Probably Michael intended to marry Jennifer and then find a way to end the relationship to be with Olivia and the baby. Or maybe he really believed he could keep both women in his life. Jennifer's mother came closer again, this time accompanied by her younger sister, Jessica. Mary, what's going on? Michael is waiting for you at the altar, and you're here talking with Emma. Mom, I need to talk with you both. Jessica, can you stay with Emma for a few minutes? Of course, said Jessica, bending down to talk to the girl. Emma, do you want to come with me to get some juice at the dessert table? I do. But first I want to show my drawings to more people, said the girl, holding her little bag tenderly. No, Emma, said Jennifer quickly. Why don't you save the drawings for later? Now it's time to enjoy the party. Okay, Aunt Jenny, but later I'll show them to everyone, all right? We'll talk about that later, okay? Jessica took Emma toward the dessert table, leaving Jennifer alone with her mother. Mum, I need to tell you something very serious. Mrs. Margaret noticed the seriousness in her daughter's tone and pulled her to a more secluded corner of the hall. What happened, my dear? Jennifer told everything that Emma had revealed through the drawings. Each word was hard to say, but she needed her mother's guidance to know how to proceed. Mrs. Margaret listened to everything in silence, her expression changing from confusion to anger as Jennifer recounted the details. That child wouldn't make up something like this, said the mother after hearing everything. And the drawings. A child that age couldn't invent such specific details. I know, Mom, but what now? Everyone is here. You spent all your savings on this party. Honey, money we can get back. Dignity we can't. If that man is cheating on you like this, on the eve of your own wedding, you can't marry him. But, Mom, what if I'm misinterpreting things? What if... Jennifer Miller, said the mother firmly, using her daughter's full name as she did when she was a child. You're trying to convince yourself that you're wrong because it's easier than accepting the truth. But deep in your heart, you know that girl isn't lying. Jennifer knew her mother was right. Ever since Emma started talking, a part of her had already understood that she was being betrayed. The signs were all there. Michael's mysterious trips, the times he didn't answer the phone during weekends with Emma, the way he always discouraged meetings between Jennifer and Olivia. What do I do, Mom? You confront that man, in front of everyone if necessary. Let him explain to the guests why he deceived you like this. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. At that moment, Jessica came running back to them, with Emma beside her holding a cup of juice. Mary, you need to see something, said Jessica urgently. What is it? Olivia just arrived. She's in the parking lot. Jennifer's heart raced. If Olivia was really pregnant, as Emma had said, it would be impossible to hide the situation much longer. "Emma, sweetie," said Jennifer, bending down again to talk to the girl. "Did Mommy arrive?" "She did," replied Emma excitedly. "She said she was going to change in the bathroom and then come get me." "Change?" "Yeah, she brought a pretty dress to wear to the party. She said she wanted to look presentable to meet Aunt Jenny's family." Jennifer couldn't believe the audacity of the situation. Olivia wasn't just pregnant with Michael's child. She also intended to attend his wedding to another woman. "Mum, please watch Emma for me. I need to handle this right now." "Be careful, dear." Jennifer walked toward the altar where Michael was waiting. He saw her approaching and flashed a smile that, under other circumstances, would have melted her heart. But now, all she could think about was how he had managed to lie to her for so long. "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Michael asked as she drew near. "You were taking so long and I was getting worried." "Michael, we need to talk right now." "Of course, but can it wait until after the ceremony?" "The guests are waiting. It can't wait. It has to be now." Michael noticed the seriousness in Jennifer's tone and pulled her a few steps away from the altar. "What's going on?" "Your daughter showed me some drawings today." Michael's face went completely pale. He tried to maintain his composure, but Jennifer could see the panic in his eyes. "Drawings? What drawings?" "Drawings of our new family. Drawings of you, me, and Olivia. Drawings of the two of you sleeping together. Drawings from your trip to the beach last week." "Jennifer, I can explain." "Can you also explain the drawing of her pregnant?" Michael closed his eyes for a moment, as if searching for a way out of the situation. "Sweetheart, the situation is complicated." "Complicated?" Jennifer raised her voice, causing some nearby guests to glance in their direction. "You're cheating on me with your ex-wife? She's pregnant with your child and you call that complicated?" "Jennifer, lower your voice, please. We can sort this out later." "Sort what out, Michael? You've been deceiving me for months. You planned this wedding while living with another woman. How exactly do you plan to sort this out?" "Look, I admit things got out of hand. What happened with Olivia wasn't planned. We grew close again because of Emma, and one thing led to another." "One thing led to another?" Jennifer couldn't believe his coldness. "You've been living together for months. She's pregnant. That's not something that just happened." Michael looked around, realizing the argument was drawing attention from the guests. "Jennifer, please, let's talk in private. This isn't the place." "I'm not going anywhere with you. I want you to explain right here how you thought this situation would work." I was trying to find the best way to tell you." "The best way?" "The best time to tell me would have been before I spent 3 years of my life with you, before I helped raise your daughter, before I turned down a promotion at work to focus on this wedding." The mention of the promotion made Michael look even more uncomfortable. 3 months ago, Jennifer had been offered a position to manage the company's branch in Chicago. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for career growth, but she decided to decline it, to devote herself to the wedding preparations and the new life they would build together. "You can ask for the promotion back," Michael said, showing how out of touch he was. "You think it's that simple, Michael? You're completely out of touch with reality." At that moment, Michael's mother approached, clearly bothered by the ongoing argument. "What is all this commotion?" asked Mrs. Barbara, with an air of superiority. "The guests are whispering that you two are fighting." "Mrs. Barbara," Jennifer said, turning to her mother-in-law, "did you know your son is living with Olivia?" The woman hesitated for a moment before answering, and that hesitation told Jennifer everything she needed to know. "Jennifer, dear, things between adults are complicated." "Everyone knew," Jennifer said, feeling a wave of humiliation. "The whole family knew and no one had the decency to tell me." "It's not like that," tried to explain Mrs. Barbara. "Michael was trying to handle the situation in the best way." "The best way would have been not to deceive me from the start," replied Jennifer. Emma came running at that moment, followed by a woman Jennifer immediately recognized as Olivia. Even from a distance, it was clear she was pregnant. She wore a blue dress that somewhat disguised her belly, but for those who knew what to look for, the pregnancy was evident. "Daddy!" shouted Emma. "Mommy's here." Olivia approached with a smile on her face, as if there was nothing strange about showing up at her ex-husband's wedding to another woman. "Hello, Michael," she said casually. "Hello, Jennifer. Sorry I'm late." Jennifer watched her carefully. Olivia was truly beautiful, with wavy blonde hair and green eyes. She wore careful makeup and seemed completely at ease with the situation. "Olivia," said Jennifer, trying to maintain her composure. "Emma showed me some drawings today." Olivia's smile wavered slightly. "Drawings? What drawings?" "Drawings of you living together. Drawings of you pregnant." Olivia looked at Michael, who made a discreet gesture with his head. It was obvious they had agreed on some kind of strategy to handle that situation. "Jennifer, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding?" Jennifer was losing patience. "Are you pregnant or not?" "I am," admitted Olivia after a moment of hesitation. "But this has nothing to do with Michael. Emma said the baby is her sibling." "Children sometimes misinterpret things," said Olivia, but her voice didn't sound convincing. "Emma," called Jennifer. "Come here, sweetheart." The girl approached, holding her mother's hand. "Emma, can you tell Mommy about the drawings you showed me?" "I can," said the girl excitedly, pulling the papers from her little bag again. "Look, Mommy, I drew our whole family together." Olivia tried to take the drawings from her daughter's hands, but Emma dodged. "No, Mommy, I want to show everyone. Look how beautiful the drawing of you with your belly turned out." By this point, several guests had approached to see what was happening. Michael's brother, who was the best man, tried to intervene. "Folks, how about we handle this in private?" he suggested. "No," said Jennifer firmly. "I want everyone here to know exactly what kind of man I was about to marry." "Jennifer, you're overreacting," said Michael. "Let's talk calmly later." "Later? There won't be a later, Michael. I won't marry a man who cheated on me, lied to me for months, and even brought his pregnant mistress to his own wedding." The hall fell completely silent. All the guests were now paying attention to the argument, and the tension was palpable. "Aunt Jenny," said Emma, approaching her, "are you mad at Daddy?" Jennifer bent down to speak to the girl, trying not to take out on her the anger she felt toward the adults. "I'm not mad at you, Emma. You did nothing wrong. In fact, you helped me a lot today." "How did I help?" "You showed me the truth through your drawings, and you know what? You're an amazing artist, and these drawings are very important." Emma smiled, happy with the compliment. "Can I keep making drawings?" "Of course you can. But now Aunt Jenny needs to handle some grown-up things, okay?" "Okay, but won't you be my aunt anymore?" The girl's question broke Jennifer's heart. Over these 3 years, she had truly formed a bond with Emma and knew the child had also grown fond of her. "I'll always care about you very much, Emma. That will never change. But sometimes adults need to make difficult decisions. Like when Daddy and Mommy separated. Something like that, sweetheart." Jennifer Miller stood up and looked at the crowd of guests watching her. She saw her parents in the middle of the crowd, her mother with tears in her eyes and her father with an expression of contained anger. She saw Michael Thompson's friends looking uncomfortable and her own friends with expressions of solidarity and indignation. "Everyone," she said, raising her voice so all could hear, "I apologize that you came here and wasted your time with a ceremony that isn't going to happen. I just discovered the groom has been living with another woman for months, and she's expecting his child." A murmur spread through the hall. Some people looked shocked, others not so surprised. "Jennifer, this is ridiculous," said Michael, trying to control the situation. "You're misinterpreting—" "Misinterpreting?" Jennifer turned to him. "Michael, your daughter drew you sleeping together. She knows details about the house, knows Olivia's habits, talked about the trip you took. How exactly am I misinterpreting?" "Look, I admit the situation is complicated, but it's not what you're thinking." "Enough," interrupted Jennifer. "Enough lies. You two have humiliated me enough for one day." She began removing her veil, her hands shaking with nerves and anger. Michael's grandmother, a woman of nearly 80, approached at that moment. "Young lady," said the elderly woman firmly, "you're doing the right thing. This boy has always been irresponsible with women. His first wife should have warned you." "Grandma, please," murmured Michael, clearly embarrassed. "Don't you, Grandma, please me," replied the woman. "I raised you, boy, and not for you to treat women this way. This young lady deserves better." The grandmother's intervention seemed to give others courage to speak up. Jennifer's godmother, her best friend from college, approached. "Jen, I always thought something was strange," she said. "Remember I told you I saw his car in the Upper East Side a few times when he said he was working?" "You saw?" "Yes, I did. But you were so happy with the wedding preparations that I thought it better not to comment. Now I regret not insisting on the subject." "Rachel, you're not to blame for anything," Jennifer told her friend. "The blame is entirely his for deceiving me." At that moment, Jennifer's father approached, his expression serious and controlled. "Michael," he said in a calm but firm voice, "you have 5 minutes to explain to my daughter exactly what's going on. No lies this time." "Mr. Robert, 5 minutes," repeated the man. "And if I find out you've lied to her one more time, I'll have to have a serious talk with you." Mr. Robert was a quiet man who rarely raised his voice, but when he spoke that way, everyone knew he was truly serious. Michael took a deep breath, seeming to finally understand there was no escaping the truth. "All right," he said. "The truth is that Olivia and I reconnected a few months ago. At first it was just to talk about Emma, but one thing led to another." "Continue," said Jennifer, though every word was painful to hear. "When we found out she was pregnant, I panicked. I didn't know how to tell you without ruining everything." "So you decided not to tell and go through with the wedding anyway?" "I thought maybe we could find a way to make it work. You're both important to me." "Michael," Olivia interrupted for the first time, "stop. You're making it worse." Everyone looked at her, waiting for her to continue. "The truth, Jennifer, is that we were both cowards," said Olivia. "Michael was afraid to tell you because he didn't want to lose you, and I accepted the situation because I still love him." It was the first time someone was being completely honest about the situation. "And the baby?" asked Jennifer. "It's his," confirmed Olivia, "and we want to be together. But Michael didn't have the courage to break up with you, so we ended up in this ridiculous situation." "Olivia," protested Michael. "No, Michael, enough. This woman deserves to know the full truth. We were wrong to let the situation get to this point." Jennifer looked at the two of them and felt a mix of anger, sadness, and strangely, a bit of relief. At least now she knew exactly where she stood. "Thank you," she said to Olivia. "Thank you for finally telling me the truth." "Jennifer, we can still talk," said Michael. "It doesn't have to end like this." "Yes, it does, Michael. You betrayed me, lied to me for months, and on top of that, you didn't have the courage to tell me the truth. What kind of marriage do you think we would have had based on that? But I love you." "If you loved me, you wouldn't have done what you did," Jennifer replied firmly. Emma, who had stayed silent watching the adults argue, approached Jennifer again. "Aunt Jenny, aren't you going to come to Daddy's house anymore?" "No, Emma. But it's not your fault, okay? You are a wonderful girl, and I'm going to miss you very much. I'm going to miss you too. You always let me help you make cake. And you were the best kitchen helper in the world," said Jennifer, kneeling down to hug the girl. "Can I give you a present?" "Of course, sweetie." Emma took the last drawing out of her little bag. In this one there were only 2 figures, her and Jennifer, holding hands and smiling. "This is for you to keep and remember me." Jennifer couldn't hold back the tears. She took the drawing tenderly and hugged Emma one more time. "I will keep it forever," she promised. The celebrant, who had observed everything from a distance, approached timidly. "Jennifer, what do I tell the guests?" "Tell them there will be no wedding today, but everyone is invited to stay and enjoy the party. The food and music are already paid for anyway." "Are you sure?" "I am. People came all the way here, got dressed up. Some traveled. It's not fair to send everyone away with nothing." Jennifer's attitude impressed many of the guests. Even in the humiliating situation she was in, she was thinking about the well-being of others. Dear listener, if you are enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out, now continuing. Michael's brother approached, looking genuinely ashamed of his brother's behavior. "Jennifer, I apologize for my brother. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't imagine it was this." "You knew?" "I suspected. In the last few weeks he was very strange, nervous. And a few times when I called him on weekends, Olivia would answer the phone. "And you didn't tell me. I should have told you," he admitted. "But I didn't want to meddle in my brother's life without being sure. Now I see I should have spoken with you." Jennifer shook her head. It was incredible how so many people around her had noticed signs that something was wrong, but no one had had the courage to warn her directly. "Daniel," she said to her brother-in-law, "don't blame yourself. The responsibility is all Michael's." Jennifer's mother approached at that moment, holding a cup of coffee. "My daughter, what do you want to do now?" "I want to go home, Mom. I want to take off this dress and try to process everything that happened today." "And your job? Do you still want to try to get that promotion back?" Jennifer thought about the offer she had refused. The position was to manage the Chicago branch, and it represented not only a significant salary increase, but also a chance to start over in a new city, far away from that whole situation. "I'll call Dr. Paul. Richard on Monday," she said, referring to the company's director. "I'll see if the position is still available. And what if it isn't? Then I'll look for something else. Anything is better than staying here near this situation." At that moment, a woman Jennifer didn't know approached. She was an elegant lady, about 60 years old, wearing a dark green dress and a friendly expression. "Excuse me," she said. "I'm Elizabeth Wilson, Rachel's mother. I came as her guest." Jennifer vaguely remembered Rachel mentioning her mother would come to the wedding. "Hello, Mrs. Elizabeth." "Dear, I shouldn't meddle, but I need to tell you something." "What is it?" "I work at a headhunting firm here in New York City. Last week, a request for a general manager position at a tech company in San Diego landed on my desk. When I saw your name on the wedding guest list, I thought about reaching out to you after the ceremony." "Really?" "Really. It's a young, growing company looking for someone with your profile. The salary is excellent, and they offer a full relocation package." "Mrs. Elizabeth, I don't know what to say." "You don't need to decide anything now, dear. But if you're interested, reach out to me next week. I think it could be a good opportunity for you to start over." The unexpected offer seemed like a sign from fate to Jennifer. In just a few hours, she had discovered the betrayal, called off the wedding, and now a new professional opportunity in another city had appeared. "I'll carefully consider your offer," she told Elizabeth. "Great. And dear, you did the right thing today. Courage is what you showed here." As Elizabeth walked away, Jennifer looked around the hall. Many guests had already left, but some stayed and were genuinely enjoying the party. The hired band had started playing, and some people were dancing as if nothing had happened. Michael approached her again, looking genuinely remorseful. "Jennifer, I know I ruined everything, but I still think we can talk. Maybe there's a way—" "Michael, stop," she said wearily. "There is no way. You cheated on me, lied to me, humiliated me in front of all these people. And you know what's worse? You involved your innocent daughter in all of this." "What do you mean involved Emma?" "You used her as an alibi for your meetings with Olivia. A 6-year-old child was keeping secrets she shouldn't even know existed. That's very cruel of you." Michael seemed genuinely surprised by this perspective. "I never thought of it that way." "Well, you should. Emma loves you, loves me, and loves her mother. She wants everyone to be happy together because she doesn't understand the complexity of the situation, and you let her be deluded by that. What can I do to fix it?" "Nothing, Michael. You can't fix it. What you can do is take responsibility, be honest with everyone from now on, and take good care of Emma throughout this transition." "What about us? Is there really no chance?" Jennifer looked at him for a long moment. For 3 years, she had loved that man. She had dreamed of the future they would build together, had imagined herself as Emma's mother, had planned every detail of the life they would have as a family. "Michael, if you had come to me 3 months ago, when the situation with Olivia began, maybe we could have had a mature conversation about it. If you had been honest about your feelings, about the confusion you were experiencing, I could have respected that. And now? Now it's too late. You lied to me for months. You let me make plans, spend money, turn down professional opportunities, all based on a lie. How do you expect me to trust you again?" Michael lowered his head, seeming to finally understand the gravity of what he had done. "I'm sorry, Jennifer. Truly. I know you are. But being sorry doesn't change what happened. Olivia approached at that moment, carrying Emma in her arms. "Jennifer," she said, "I also want to apologize. I know I was an accomplice in this terrible situation. Why didn't you just talk to me months ago?" "Because we're cowards," admitted Olivia. "Because it was easier to keep things as they were than to face the truth. And now? Now we'll face the consequences. Michael and I are going to stay together. We're going to raise our children and we'll take responsibility for what we did." "And Emma? How is she handling all this?" "She's confused," said Olivia, stroking the hair of her daughter who had fallen asleep in her lap. "But children are resilient. We'll explain it to her little by little in a way she can understand." "Take good care of her," said Jennifer. "She's a special child." "We know," replied Olivia. "And Jennifer, thank you for not blaming her for what happened today. You could have been angry with her for telling the secrets, but you weren't. Emma is not at fault. In fact, she saved me from making a terrible mistake." Jennifer turned to leave, but Michael gently held her arm. "Jennifer, wait. What about the things left at my house? Your clothes, your books? You can donate everything or throw it away. I don't want anything that reminds me of this story anymore." "Are you sure?" "I am. I want to start over from scratch." Jennifer's father approached at that moment. "Sweetheart, your mother has already gone to get the car. Do you want to go home?" "I do, Dad." "Then let's go. That's enough for today." Before leaving, Jennifer looked at the hall one more time. The people who had stayed seemed to be genuinely enjoying themselves. The band was playing a lively song, and some people were dancing and laughing as if they were at a normal party. "At least someone is having a good time," she said to her father. "Life goes on, sweetheart. And for you it will go on too, you can be sure of that." "I know, Dad. In fact, I think today might have been the best day of my life." "How so?" "Imagine if I had found out all this after the wedding, after having children with him. Emma saved me from a much worse future." Mr. Roberts smiled proudly at his daughter's maturity. "You're a strong woman, Jennifer, stronger than you think." As they walked toward the exit, Jennifer felt a strange sense of lightness. As painful as the discovery had been, she now knew the truth. She wouldn't have to live based on lies. She wouldn't have to raise children with a man who wasn't trustworthy. She wouldn't have to look back 10 years from now and regret. At the exit of the hall, Emma woke up in her mother's arms and waved to Jennifer. "Bye, Aunt Jenny," she shouted sleepily. "Bye, Emma," replied Jennifer, waving back. "Take good care of your drawings, okay?" "I will, and I'll make more pretty drawings." "I'm sure you will." In the car, while her parents talked quietly in the front seat, Jennifer took her phone out of her purse and looked for the card she had kept 3 months ago. It was from Dr. Richard, the company director, who had insisted she accept the promotion. She typed a quick message. "Dr. Richard, it's Jennifer Miller. I'd like to know if there's still a possibility to discuss the position in Chicago. Change of plans. Thank you." She didn't expect a reply until Monday, but to her surprise, the phone rang 5 minutes later. "Jennifer, it's Richard. I got your message. Is everything all right?" "Everything's fine, yes. I just changed my mind about the promotion." "That's great. The position is still available. In fact, it was hard to find someone with your profile. Can you start on Monday?" "On Monday? But I'd need to move." "The company covers all moving costs, remember? We can put you up in a hotel until you find an apartment. What do you think?" Jennifer looked out the car window, watching the city where she was born and raised pass before her eyes. A week ago, the idea of leaving New York City behind would have been unthinkable. Now it seemed exactly what she needed. "Dr. Richard, I accept." "Perfect. I'll email all the details later today." "Jennifer, may I ask what changed your mind?" "Let's just say I had a revelation today about what truly matters in life." "That's wonderful. Welcome to the Chicago team." When she hung up the phone, Jennifer felt truly at peace for the first time in years. She looked at Emma's drawing that she still held in her hand. On the paper, the two smiled hand in hand, free and happy. "Mom," she called out. "What is it, dear?" "I'm moving to Chicago on Monday." "What? So soon?" Sometimes life gives us signs, and when they appear, We must have the courage to follow them. Are you sure? I am. For the first time in a long while, I'm absolutely certain about something. Her father glanced in the rearview mirror. I'm proud of you, dear. You showed a strength today that many people don't have. I learned from both of you, she replied, remembering how her parents always faced life's difficulties with dignity and courage. When they got home, Jennifer went straight up to her room and started taking off her wedding dress. Each piece she removed seemed to take away a bit of the day's pain and humiliation. She put on comfortable clothes and sat on the bed with her laptop, starting to search for apartments in Chicago. The company offered a generous relocation package, and she could choose a nice neighborhood to restart her life. While browsing real estate websites, she got a message from Rachel, her godmother. "Jen, are you okay? I want you to know I'm very proud of your courage today, and my mother won't stop talking about the job opportunity. She said you'd be perfect for the position." Jennifer smiled and typed back, "I'm fine, Rach. Actually, I just accepted a promotion in Chicago. I'm moving on Monday." The reply came almost immediately. "Really? That's amazing. You deserve all the best. And being far from that jerk is for the best anyway. Thank you for always being a true friend. I always will be. And now I want all the details about this new life." Jennifer closed the laptop and lay on the bed, looking at the ceiling of the room where she had spent so many nights dreaming about the future with Michael Thompson. It was strange how those dreams now seemed to belong to someone else. She picked up Emma's drawing again and placed it on the nightstand. She decided she would take that drawing to Chicago as a reminder that sometimes the most important truths come from the most unexpected places. Her phone rang again. It was a message from an unknown number. "Jennifer, this is Elizabeth Wilson. I got your number from Rachel. The company in San Diego called me earlier. They want to schedule a video interview tomorrow morning. Would you be interested?" Jennifer was surprised. 2 opportunities in one day seemed too good to be true, but she decided it couldn't hurt to hear the proposal. "Mrs. Elizabeth, thank you for your interest, but I just accepted a promotion in Chicago. If it doesn't work out for any reason, may I contact you?" "Of course, dear. But if you change your mind before Monday, let me know. The San Diego offer is really very good. Thank you for your kindness." Jennifer put away her phone and went downstairs to have dinner with her parents. Her mother had prepared her favorite meal, as she always did when she wanted to comfort her. "Mom, you didn't have to go to all this trouble." "Yes, I did. Today was a difficult day, and good food helps heal anything." "You're right." During dinner, she told her parents about the opportunity in Chicago and the offer from San Diego. 2 opportunities in one day, her father remarked. "Seems like when one door closes, others open. Just like your grandmother always said," her mother added. "God works in mysterious ways. Do you think I'm being hasty?" "Honey," said her mother, "sometimes in life we need to be brave. You spent 3 years investing in a relationship that wasn't worth it. Now it's time to invest in yourself." "But what about being away from you?" "We'll miss you," her father admitted. "But you're our daughter, and our job is to support you so you can be happy. If Chicago is where you'll be happy, then that's where you should go." After dinner, Jennifer helped her mother wash the dishes while they talked about next steps. "Mom, what should I do with the things I left at Michael's house?" "Your father and I will go get everything tomorrow. You don't need to see him again if you don't want to." "Thank you. I really don't want to see him any time soon." "And that's right. Let time pass. Let the dust settle. Maybe in the future you can maintain a civil relationship because of Emma, but for now it's better to keep your distance. I'm going to miss her." "I know, honey, but she'll be fine. And who knows, maybe one day you'll reconnect." That night, Jennifer had trouble sleeping, not from sadness or regret, but from anxiety about all the changes to come. It was as if her whole life was being redrawn, just like Emma's drawings. On Sunday morning, she woke up early and went for a walk in the park near her home. It was a place she used to go with Michael on weekends, but now she wanted to say goodbye to it alone. She sat on the bench where they always stopped to rest and thought about everything that had happened in the last 24 hours. It was amazing how life could change completely in such a short time. Her phone rang. It was a message from Michael. "Jennifer, I know you don't want to talk to me, but I need to tell you I'm sorry for everything. You deserved better." She spent several minutes looking at the message before responding. "Michael, thank you for the apology. Now we need to move on with our lives. Take good care of Emma and be happy with your choices." She didn't wait for a response. She blocked the number and deleted the conversation. It was time to close that chapter for good. On her way back home, she passed by the house where she had lived with a cousin during college. The cousin had moved to London 2 years ago, and the house had been empty for some time. An idea came to her mind. What if she bought the house? It was a good investment, and when she wanted to come back to New York City to visit her parents, she'd have a place to stay. She wrote down the phone number on the for sale sign and decided she would call on Monday to get more details. When she got home, she found her parents organizing boxes in the garage. "What are you doing?" "Getting boxes ready for your move," said her mother. "If you're moving on Monday, we have today and tomorrow to get everything organized." "You don't have to." "Of course we do," her father interrupted. "We're a family. Families help each other." Jennifer felt a wave of gratitude for the parents she had. Throughout the whole mess with Michael, she had sometimes forgotten to appreciate the unconditional love she received at home. They spent all Sunday organizing the things she would take to Chicago. Clothes, books, some items of sentimental value. Everything fit into 5 boxes and 2 suitcases. "It's amazing how our whole life fits in such a small space," she commented. "What really matters doesn't take up space," said her mother. "It's the memories, the feelings, the experiences. Those we carry in our hearts." At dinner time, they had an unexpected visitor. It was Rachel who had brought a bottle of champagne. "I came to celebrate my friend's new beginning," she said with a smile. "Rach, you're crazy. What champagne is this?" "It's a special champagne I was saving for a special occasion, and today is a special occasion. I don't know if we should celebrate." "Of course we should. You got rid of a man who didn't deserve you and landed an incredible promotion on the same day. If that's not a reason to celebrate, I don't know what is." Jennifer Miller's parents agreed with Rachel, and they opened the bottle to toast to the future. "A toast to Jennifer," said her father, "who has always been brave, but today showed she's braver than we imagined." "A toast to the truth," added her mother, "which hurts at first, but sets you free in the end." "A toast to the friends who are always there," said Rachel. "And a toast to new beginnings," Jennifer finished, "which aren't easy but are necessary." During the evening, Rachel mentioned she had spoken with some people who were at the wedding and that the general reaction had been supportive of Jennifer. "Everyone was shocked by Michael's behavior," she said. "Jessica told me that several people commented they always thought he was a bit shady." "Really? Really? It seems you were the only one who didn't see the signs because you were in love." "Sometimes love really is blind. But now you're free to find someone who truly deserves you. For now I want to focus on myself, on building my career, getting to know a new city, discovering who I am when I'm not in a relationship." "I think that's perfect. You deserve this time for yourself." On Monday morning, Jennifer woke up before her alarm. It was her first day as manager of the Chicago branch, and she wanted to start off on the right foot. She put on her best suit, did her makeup carefully, and looked at herself in the mirror. The woman staring back seemed different from the insecure bride on Saturday. There was a determination in her eyes that she hadn't seen in a long time. Her parents took her to the airport, and at the goodbye, everyone cried a little. "You'll visit Chicago soon," she promised. "And you'll come back to visit us too," said her mother. "Always. New York City will always be my home." On the flight to Chicago, Jennifer looked out the window and saw New York City fading behind her. Along with the city, she left behind 3 years of relationship, a stalled career, and a version of herself that no longer represented her. When the plane landed in Chicago, she felt as if she were being born again. The city was new to her, full of possibilities and opportunities. The hotel the company had booked was comfortable and modern. Jennifer organized her things and prepared for her first day of work. The company was located in the business district, in a modern glass building. When she arrived, she was greeted by Dr. Richard and the entire Chicago team. "Jennifer, it's so good to see you here," said the director. "I hope you're feeling at home." "I am. Thank you for the opportunity. You deserve it, and I'm sure you'll do an excellent job here." During the first few weeks, Jennifer dedicated herself fully to work. She met the team, studied the ongoing projects, visited clients. It was exactly the professional challenge she needed to keep her mind occupied. In her free time, she explored the city. Chicago was different from New York City, more planned, more peaceful. She rented an apartment on a tree-lined block and began to create a new routine. 1 month after the move, she received an unexpected call. It was Elizabeth Wilson. "Jennifer, dear, how are you?" "I'm well, Mrs. Elizabeth, getting used to the new city." "That's good. Listen, remember that opening in San Diego I mentioned? The company is still interested in you." They heard about the work you're doing in Chicago and became even more interested. "Mrs. Elizabeth, I really appreciate it, but I'm really enjoying my work here." "I imagine. But just hear the offer. They're offering 40% more than what you're making now, plus benefits, and the chance to open a new branch from scratch. It would be like being an entrepreneur, but with the security of a big company behind you." The offer was tempting, Jennifer had to admit. But she had committed to the work in Chicago and didn't want to leave right at the beginning. "Mrs. Elizabeth, can I think about the proposal? I wouldn't want to leave my current company in a bind." "Of course, dear. But don't take too long. They want to make a decision by the end of the month." After hanging up, Jennifer kept thinking about the proposal. San Diego was a coastal city with an excellent quality of life, and the opportunity to set up a branch from scratch was truly attractive. She decided to talk to Dr. Richard about the situation. To her surprise, he was very understanding. "Jennifer, you're a talented professional, and opportunities like this come along few times in life. If you think it's better for your career, you have my support." "But I don't want to leave you all in a bind." "You won't. In 2 months you've organized this branch so well that it'll take us years to mess it up," he said, laughing. "And besides, maybe we can establish a partnership between our branch and the San Diego company in the future." "Are you sure?" "I am. You're young, talented, and deserve to explore every opportunity that comes your way. Go with my blessing." A week later, Jennifer was moving again, this time to San Diego. The tech company that had hired her turned out to be even better than she had imagined. It was a young, innovative environment with a corporate culture very different from what she was used to. Her job was to structure the new branch, hire the team, and define processes. It was exactly the kind of challenge she had always dreamed of. She rented a small but charming house just a few steps from the beach. For the first time in years, she woke up every day to the sound of the ocean. 3 months after moving to San Diego, she was walking on the beach when her phone rang. It was a New York City number she didn't recognize. "Hello?" "Aunt Jenny," said a familiar voice. "Emma?" Jennifer felt her heart race. "Hi, Aunt Jenny, it's me." "Emma, sweetie, how did you get my number?" "I asked Grandma Margaret. She said you moved to a city with a beach." Jennifer smiled. Mrs. Margaret was her mother, and apparently Emma had called her house in New York City. "That's true. I'm living in a city with a beach. How are you, sweetheart?" "I'm good. I have a little brother now. His name is Jack." "How nice. And are you enjoying being a big sister?" "I am. He's very tiny, but he's cute." "Aunt Jenny, can I tell you something?" "Of course you can tell me everything. I dreamed about you yesterday. In the dream you were on the beach making sandcastles with me." Jennifer felt her eyes fill with tears. Even after all these months, Emma still remembered her. "What a beautiful dream, Emma. Aunt Jenny, can you come visit me?" "Emma, sweetie, I live very far away now, but maybe one day." "Daddy said you were mad at him." "Not exactly mad, Emma. Adults sometimes have to make hard decisions, and I had to leave to be happy." "Are you happy now?" "Yes, very happy." "That's good. Aunt Jenny, can I send you a drawing?" "Of course you can." "Do you still draw?" "I draw a lot. The teacher said I have talent. I'll send you a beach drawing for you to hang in your new house." Jennifer gave her address to Emma, and they talked for a few more minutes before saying goodbye. A week later, an envelope with Emma's drawings arrived by mail. There were 3 pages, one with a woman on the beach surrounded by colorful birds and fish, another with a woman smiling in an office, and the third with a happy family. But this time the family consisted of Emma, Michael, Olivia, and the baby. Along with the drawings was a card written in a still shaky child's handwriting. For Aunt Jenny, who taught me that drawings can show the truth. I hope you're very happy in your new city. With love, Emma. Jennifer hung the drawings on the living room wall, and every time she looked at them, she remembered how a 6-year-old child had completely changed the course of her life. 6 months after moving to San Diego, the branch Jennifer had created was thriving. She had hired a team of 12 people and had already secured important contracts with local companies. One Saturday morning, while having coffee on the porch, she heard a knock at the door. To her surprise, it was her parents who had decided to pay a surprise visit. "Dad, Mom, what a wonderful surprise. We wanted to see this city that stole our daughter," her father said jokingly. "And see with our own eyes how you're doing," her mother added. Jennifer took them around the city, showed them the company office, and introduced some friends she had made. It was obvious her parents were impressed with the life she had built. "Honey," her mother said on the last night of their visit, "I've never seen you so happy." "I really am happy, Mom. As hard as everything that happened was, it was the best thing that could have happened to me." "And any new romance?" "Not for now, Mom. I'm focused on building my career and discovering who I am. But when the time is right, it will happen naturally." "You're right. There's no rush." On Sunday, after taking her parents to the airport, Jennifer decided to take a walk on the beach to reflect on everything that had happened over the past year. It was amazing how her life had completely changed. 12 months ago, she was preparing to marry a man who was cheating on her, living a life based on lies. Today, she was a successful executive, living in a wonderful city with total control over her future. She thought of Emma and wondered how the little girl was doing. She had probably already adapted to her new family setup and was happy with her baby brother. She thought of Michael and Olivia and realized she no longer felt anger or resentment. They had made choices that hurt a lot of people, but they had also paid the price for those choices. Life had an interesting way of balancing things out. When she got home, she found an envelope that had been delivered during her absence. It was a letter with a law firm letterhead. She opened it curiously and discovered it was a notification about an inheritance from a distant aunt who had passed away a few months earlier. Apparently, the aunt had left Jennifer an apartment in downtown New York City and a small sum of money. The news surprised her, as she barely remembered this aunt, but the inheritance came at a perfect time as she was thinking about expanding the business and could use the money as an investment. She decided to travel to New York City the following week to sort out the inheritance paperwork and take the opportunity to visit her parents. In New York City, after handling the legal matters, she decided to stop by the apartment she had inherited to see it. It was an old but charming property, well located that could be a good source of extra income if rented out. While exploring the empty apartment, her phone rang. It was an unknown number. "Hello? Jennifer? This is Daniel, Michael's brother. I got your number from your mother." Jennifer was surprised. She hadn't spoken to Daniel since the day of the cancelled wedding. "Hi, Daniel. How are you?" "I'm good. Look, I know it might seem strange for me to call, but I have some news I thought you'd want to know." "What news?" "It's about Emma. She won a drawing contest at school. The winning drawing was one she did about families of the heart. Really, that's wonderful." "Yeah, and you know what the drawing was? It was you and her on the beach, building sandcastles. She told her teacher that you are her family of the heart, even though you live far away." Jennifer felt a deep emotion upon hearing this. What a special girl. She really is. "And Jennifer, I wanted to take this opportunity to apologize again for what my brother did. He was wrong and the whole family knows it. Daniel, it's all right, it's in the past. I know, but I needed to say it. And I also wanted to tell you that Michael and Olivia are having some problems. Apparently lies and betrayal aren't a very solid foundation for a relationship." Jennifer didn't feel satisfaction upon hearing this. In fact, she felt a certain sadness, especially for Emma and the baby. "I hope they can work things out for the best, especially for the children's sake." "You were always better than he deserved," said Daniel. "And from what I hear, you're doing very well in life." "Yes, I am, thank you." Emma asks about you sometimes. If you'd like, I can give her your number so she can call once in a while. Of course you can give it to her. I'd love to stay in touch with her. After hanging up, Jennifer kept thinking about the conversation. It was comforting to know that Emma still remembered her fondly and that her drawings continued to reveal important truths. She decided to write a letter to Emma, telling her about her life in San Diego and promising that she would always be her aunt of the heart, even living far away. On the plane back to San Diego, Jennifer reflected on how fate had interesting ways of connecting people. A year ago, she was about to make a mistake that would change her life for the worse. Today, she was living a life she had never dreamed of, all thanks to the innocent drawings of a child. Arriving home, she wrote in her diary, a habit she had developed since moving. Today marks exactly 1 year since the day I didn't get married. Instead of celebrating my first wedding anniversary, I'm celebrating my first year of freedom and self-discovery. Thank you, Emma, for saving me without even knowing it. 2 days later, she received a call from Dr. Richard, her former boss from Chicago. Jennifer, how are you? Very well, doctor. And how is the branch there doing? It's doing very well, thanks to the foundation you left. But I'm calling for another reason. Do you remember we talked about establishing a partnership between our company and yours? Yes, I remember. Well, we're ready to make it a reality. We want to propose a service contract that would be very profitable for both sides. The proposal was indeed interesting. It would be a way to expand the business without major risks, using the experience she already had with the Chicago company. Dr. Richard, I'll review the proposal carefully and give you an answer by the end of the week. Perfect. And Jennifer, I'm very proud to see how far you've come. You always had the potential for much more than you imagined. After the call, Jennifer sat on her porch and looked out at the ocean. In just over a year, she had gone from a life of lies and limitations to a life of endless possibilities. She thought about all the what-ifs in life. What if Emma hadn't shown the drawings? What if she had gotten married anyway? What if she had discovered the betrayal years later, already with children? But there was no point in thinking about the what-ifs. What mattered was the present and the future she was building with her own hands. That night, she received a message from Emma. Aunt Jenny, I won a drawing contest. The drawing was of you. You'll always be special to me. Kisses. Jennifer smiled and saved the message like a treasure. Sometimes the most important people in our lives appear in the most unexpected ways, and they mark our lives in ways we can't even imagine. Emma had been the angel who saved her from an unhappy future, and Jennifer would be eternally grateful for that special child who, with her innocence and honesty, had changed the course of 2 lives, her own and the girls, who learned early on that the truth, no matter how painful, always sets you free. 3 years after the wedding that never happened, Jennifer was in her office in San Diego when she received an unexpected call. Jennifer Miller? Yes, speaking. This is Emma's school. She's fine, but she asked us to call you. What happened? Nothing serious. She just said she needed to speak with Aunt Jenny urgently and gave us your number. Can you talk to her? Of course. A few seconds later, Emma's voice, now 9 years old, came through the phone. Aunt Jenny, can you come pick me up from school? Emma, sweetie, what happened? Where are your parents? Daddy and Mommy are fighting again. They forgot to pick me up and I just wanted to talk to you. Jennifer's heart sank. Apparently, the problems in Michael and Olivia's relationship had gotten worse. Emma, I would love to come get you, but I'm very far away. Can you ask the school to call your grandmother? They already did. She's coming to get me. But Aunt Jenny, can I come visit you during vacation? Jennifer thought quickly. Technically, she no longer had any legal connection to Emma, but the affection between them had never disappeared. Emma, that would be wonderful, but we need to talk to your parents first. I already did. Daddy said if you agree, he'll pay for the ticket. He said you were always good to me. Really? Really? Please, Aunt Jenny, I really want to see your beach house. How could Jennifer resist? Emma would always hold a special place in her heart. All right, sweetie. I'll talk to your father to arrange everything. Yay, I'll make drawings of your city for you. A week later, Jennifer was at the San Diego airport waiting for Emma to arrive. The little girl got off the plane accompanied by a flight attendant, carrying a pink backpack and a folder of drawings. "Aunt Jenny," she shouted, running into Jennifer's arms. "Emma, how you've grown!" "I grew a lot, and look, I brought new drawings for you." During the week Emma spent in San Diego, they did everything. Built sand castles, visited the aquarium, went on boat rides, painted pictures together. Emma was enchanted by the life Jennifer had built. "Aunt Jenny, you're very happy here, aren't you?" "Yes, Emma, very happy. I'm glad you didn't marry Daddy." "Why do you say that?" "Because Daddy doesn't know how to make anyone happy. He makes everyone sad. But you here are always smiling." The child's wisdom impressed Jennifer. At 9 years old, Emma already understood emotional dynamics that many adults take years to grasp. "And how are you, Emma? How are you feeling with everything that's happening at home?" "Sometimes I get sad," the girl admitted. "But I draw when I get sad and then I feel better." "Your drawings are your way of understanding the world, aren't they?" "Yes. The teacher said I'm an artist. When I grow up, I want to be like those artists who make paintings for museums." "I'm sure you will. You have a special talent." On the last night of the visit, Emma made a drawing as a gift for Jennifer. It was her house in San Diego, with the two of them on the porch looking at the ocean. "So you remember me when I'm gone," she said. "Emma, I could never forget you. You were the most important person in my life." "What do you mean?" "Remember the drawings you showed me on the day I was going to marry your father?" "I remember. Those drawings saved my life. They showed me the truth and helped me make the right decision. If it weren't for you, I'd still be living an unhappy life today." Emma thought for a moment. "So my drawings have magical powers?" "In a way, yes. Your drawings show the truth, and the truth has a magical power to free people." "That's so cool, then I'll keep drawing the truth forever." At the airport, at the time of the farewell, Emma hugged Jennifer tightly. "Aunt Jenny, promise me we'll always be friends?" "I promise, Emma, always. And promise me that if I ever need you, you'll be there. Always, my dear, always." End of story. So what did you think of this touching story? Now tell us in the comments. Do you think Jennifer made the right decision? And what would you do if you were Emma, an innocent child caught in this situation? Share your opinion with us. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other heartwarming stories like this one.